Welcome, everybody. Professor Lima here for one session of our career services with a distinguished guest, Mr. Ovidio López.
Hi.
Ovidio, first of all, thanks for coming.
Thanks
it's a pleasure to have you here. Ovidio is a person that I really wanted to invite him to come to have the opportunity to speak to you about his experiences, his business. I'll let him introduce himself, but for what I understand about Raminatrans is a company that is growing fast, has a tremendous work ethics. So people really work hard and go the extra mile. So I'm very happy to have the chance to have Ovidio here with us. Ovidio, again, welcome.
Thank you.
So I just wanted to let you introduce yourself, introduce Raminatrans. So whatever you want to open our conversation, any way you want to open.
Thank you, first of all, for your invitation. It's a pleasure to be here, always to visit Atlantis University. My name is Ovidio López. I'm the CEO here and the manager in Raminatrans USA. Raminatrans is a Spanish company. We came here 6 years ago. We are a 32 years old company. We have only one president, Mr. Rafael Milla Navarro. He's the owner and the president of the Raminatrans since 1982. And we came here to the United States to develop our business with the companies that we've been working worldwide. We have 11 offices in Spain with our headquarters in Valencia. We have 3 offices in Mexico to help all the hotels department to develop their business there. And we have Latvia because we control all the traffic, the truck traffic in Europe, and we came into the United States to develop here. Also, we have 11 offices in China, India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Australia, Malaysia. We are a small company in this big world.
No, it's interesting because you guys are in very dynamic markets, right? and as I know, in the United States, you guys are growing very quickly, right?
Yes, our customer service is our key. In the United States, we found that you have to make a difference because with your competence, and the customer service is the one that we found that is the best way to introduce our company here in the United States in all the markets. And as you said, we are a logistic company, so we work with every product, everything.
So I wanted to just go a little bit off script on this about the customer service. So how do you see in general customer service in your business and in different businesses? Is that the real differentiator? Because it has to do a lot with the people, the personalities of the employees, etc. Right?
The president of Virgin says once that not the customer is not the most important thing. It's your people, because how they treat your customer is how you finalize the service of your finalize your customer, and he can keep working with you.
No, exactly. That's a good point, right? Because we say the most important group is your customer, but actually is the people that treat your customers, because
that's right.
They make a difference and their customers come and go. So one question for you is, in your day-to-day business, what are some of your challenges working in this global logistics? Give me some typical problems and challenges that you have to solve on a daily basis.
In logistics, I have one phrase that it's by Sun Tzu, that he says that the line between the order and chaos is up to logistics, because we have to control that every single thing in the supply chain is in this place. So one of the most challenge that we afford is to be on date and be always ready to the changes that the life give us. In the pandemic, during the pandemic, we found that we have to be ready, and the first one, that's the most ready one, is the one that who can first solve the problem.
Right. Yeah, that's something interesting, because in the logistics, in the pandemic time, logistics company were fundamental, right? Because everything was done online, people had to deliver. So you probably guys went into overdrive at that time, right?
Correct.
So a lot of work, a lot of push, a lot of business, coming to you every day.
Correct, as in the war. I mean, logistics, everything is developed also in the war. Alejandro Magno used to say that their logistics were the most unhappiest people, because they know that if the campaign fails, they're going to first, that he will kill. So.
That's true. So one of the things I want to tell you is, how is because in this case, your business is growing fast. You work with people from different countries, different cultures. So what is your secret sauce to work with people from all over the world and different mindsets, different ways of doing things, different behaviors or culture? How that goes?
Adaptation. It's always adaptation. I used to say that when I came here to the United States, I started to make some connections with also managers and different companies, visiting potential customers, visiting the customers that we had here already to introduce our company, make the presentation of ourselves. One of the things that I discovered is that I thought that I speak English until I arrived to the United States. That's traveling in the 52 states. And also I thought that I speak Spanish. I'm from Barcelona, and I thought that I speak Spanish until I arrived to Miami. So we are, as a company, we don't have offices worldwide in every country. So we belong to different networks. One is the WCA, World Cargo Alliance. We are in the GAN and the GAA. Once in a year, we travel to a different place to meet all together, because in this networking world, the real connection keeps working, and you feel very good with someone that you shake hands and you have a conversation, a direct conversation as we have, and we had several times that's how you make that feelings. And if you have that feeling with the person, that's when you develop the business. That's what I always says, that in a good dinner you make more business than in a meeting room. Sometimes it works. And feel how people speak. Try to understand what they are telling you with their words. It's very very important. And that's how you can make a global connection and help people from other countries to make business.
No, I think this is what you said. I totally find it amazing, because I truly believe in that we do business with people that we connect and people that we like.
I thought that you were referring that you thought to speak Spanish until I arrived to Miami.
So that's true too. That's true too. But the thing is, because and when I tell students and professionals, etc., about the importance of networking, right? And network is always something bilateral. You give and you get. You give. Right. A lot of people think that network is just getting, asking, but people expect you to give something back, right? That's a normal thing. And it's a mistake when you go to a conference or an event or an industry meeting and you just meet a lot of people. Exactly. Or you're just asking and you just nobody wants to do that. I have one of my friends that, well, he's not that close friend anymore, because he always called me asking for something, and he's never available when I ask him something, right? So it's almost like very unilateral, right? But you have a different complication, right? Because you have people from different cultures who behave differently. They do business differently. They behave differently. Tell me a little bit from your perspective, culturally, when you do business in Asia, in Europe, or in Latin America, or North America, what are the things that you see, without mentioning the particular region, what do you see, for example, how people behave differently in those regions? When
I was working in a company in Spain, they just hired me and 1 month after that, they put me with a Chinese woman that she was going to get pregnant, so she was going to go out. And she was going to take the leave for 4 months. And can you imagine a Chinese woman trying to speak in Spanish, teaching you his way to work with his customers, also Chinese people? That opened my mind a lot, because I had to learn. But the most interesting experience that I had, it was when I was 17 years old. I moved to Montreal for 4 months to study there. And I remember I was coming from Spain, same culture, almost all Europeans in that time. And I know I look younger, but I'm older than I look.
Good for you.
That opened completely my mind.
Yes.
See people from different cultures: Japan, China, India, Arabia, Italians, Irish, English, and me with my little English when I was young, tried to develop me and make me grow there. I returned to that point. You need to learn their feelings, how people do business, how people work, because we don't work on the same way.
Right.
And we try to teach to our workers. When I have people from different countries here working with me, 3 of them, they were students of Atlantis University.
Yes, is right.
And you need to understand them, because they use different words to say the same.
No, exactly. And that's for our audience, the students, the professors. Raminatrans has hired 3 students from Atlantis University. So he is really a long-term, a strong partner, because we truly work together. Sometimes he calls me about, hey, I need such candidate or such and such talent, and we work in trying to find or not find it or whatever. So it's, and I totally agree with you, because I think what you say about acceptance and adaptation, it's super important, because different cultures work differently, right? And if you come with the attitude that you know better and you know more, you will fail, because people would segregate you, you will be separated. So I live in many countries as you, so I think the point was you need to come with an accepting and adapting mindset, right? To try to blend in. Otherwise, you'll fail.
You need to return the hug.
Yes, exactly.
That's the point.
Yes.
When someone hug you, you need to return the hug. If you give a hug and that person did not return it, that means that there's no connection. You can go separate.
And that's one of the things that I tell the students in career service, that all the conferences, all the events, industry events that we have in Miami or out of Miami, if you're traveling, if you have the opportunity to just walk in those events, just to say hi and know people, introduce yourself.
Don't be ashamed of everything.
Exactly. See how you perform, how the people treat you, how you engage, how if people pay attention to what you say, their body language, if they are connecting with you, if they're not interested, if you're not making them interested in you, so what's going on, right? Because it's a learning thing that you start to read those signs, right? And that was very valuable, particularly for your case at work globally, right?
Exactly. If you want to make your muscle grow, you have to go to the gym and increase the weight. That's how the relations grow too. Knowing people, understand them, making connection, ask them, and let the shame aside. Always be open to speak with people.
No, exactly. And I tell people the following: sometimes the connection doesn't work. You're not going to be. Not everybody's going to like you, or not. You're not going to like everybody. There's always that situation, right, that people do not like you. That's it.
Imagine in India that they became the most popular city population in the world, that they want to be all the friends, one of each other.
Exactly. So it doesn't really work like this, right? You need to have situations that people like you and situations that they don't like you, and you don't like them, and that's fine, right? You just, because a lot of students, because our audience are, the audience is mostly students, so when you interview or when you talk to a company, sometimes the connection will not happen. It may not be your fault. It could be your fault, but it's not your fault as a student or a professional. Sometimes, even in business meetings or deals, things don't happen.
Correct.
People don't like you don't like them, that's it, and things don't get done, right? So I want to ask you a question, because you hire 3 people from Atlantis. What are the things that you look when you're searching for talent? When you want somebody to work for you, what are the characteristics, the personality, the mindset, the way people work that really make you say, I like this person?
The first always is the magic. So, I mean, you need to give your speech with your face and your cleanness and the way you put your clothes on. That's the first point that's the first receiving. That's why we get pretty to go out at nights when we have a dinner or a dating, or we're dating. That's why the first impression is the most important one.
Right.
How they talk. They don't have to be like ashamed or speak with the mouth closed. You need someone that you can feel that he wants to learn, because in this work, maybe in other companies, they need professionalism and knowledge. In this kind of work, logistics, I always say that it's not a work, it's a passion. So if you find it and you love it, you're going to be working in logistics forever. If you hate it, you will not know anything about logistics and hate it forever. It's something that you can feel it.
Right.
So in this company, we try to find people that it's open mind, really open mind, and open to work, open to learn. And
so the learning point that if you net it out, the most important thing is this inquisitive, this interest to work, to learn things, right, and do things, right, that really attracts you.
Raminatrans is a different kind of company. We feel here like in a family. Rafael Milla is our father. He gives us directions. We have the CEO of the worldwide company, that it's Mr. Juan Beltran. You can feel always supported by them. Always, they are always there for you. So we are not looking to hire ants because we don't need them. We need people who want to grow and develop their career in this company. That's why we are using different kind of professionals when we try to hire someone.
Yeah, this is something that I totally agree with you. So that I also consider that trait the most important one is the ability or the interest, and it's a lot to do with your energy, your passion to learn, right? To have these interests in learning. And you see some professionals there, or some students or professionals or executives or business owners, some are more engaged to learning, some are less. Clearly in the way, and I always tell people that career development is a long-term process, right? So it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. You're going to work year and year and year with discipline, with structure, so to make sure that you grow your capabilities throughout the years, right? So you may change companies, but but you have to have this thing in mind, right? This thinking that do the best you can, or really try to do the best, because errors will happen, right? So how you treat people when they make a mistake, for example, because people in your company, fast pace, lots of things happen, right? Sometimes things do not go as you plan. So what is how you see, in logistics has lots of little details, right? They need to work in very quickly.
In logistics, every mistake costs money.
Exactly, yeah. Exactly.
Because, for example, a container stocked in a terminal, it costs $300 per day. So in 2-3 days, or if you have 10 containers, it could cost you like $150. It's in 2 weeks. It's a lot of money that you have to be aware always. It depends always. It's a tricky question, because if it's the first mistake and they didn't know how to do it, it depends how they come to you to present you the mistake. Listen, I did this mistake, I solved it this way, or I did this mistake. I didn't know how to do it, but my partner told me and teach me how to do it. You know, that there's a person that they try to learn by themselves. Usually, I always tell them, always that I hire someone, ask. Don't worry. If you need to ask 3 times, you can ask 3 times. If you are asking 8 times the same thing, then we have a problem, because that means that you are not learning and simple things. Then you have to push it. Be a boss is always very difficult. Very, very difficult, because I want in the environment in the company, you try to make it like a family. You try to make the people comfortable, that they're not looking the watch or the time or the phone to see what time is it and I want to go. Right. You need them to feel that passion about this work, because as I said before, every mistake costs money, a lot of money. So I try to make the people comfortable in the office, that they feel the air conditioning is in good temperature, that they have music to listen, that they have everything that they need to work, and that's how you keep the people working with you for long term. Because here in Miami, hire people for long term, it's very difficult. It's one of the challenges that all the CEOs that I usually speak with, we are always having the same problem, keeping people in the staff for long term.
Yeah, exactly. And it's interesting, because I tell the students that jumping from company to company is going to hurt your career. Obviously, myself being career services, and even in my business, etc., I always say you need to do the best for you. Only the person knows what's best for her, for him, right? But on the other hand, you need to think about the long term. If you think about short term, and a lot of business owners, even people that start their own business,
yes,
they want to make a lot of money fast, and there's nothing that makes legally a lot of money fast. So therefore, it
easy
takes
come,
time.
Easy go.
Exactly. So it takes time. So there's a lot of mentality. I think more recently, that was not my grandfather's or my father's mentality, that people want to do something that will give them a lot of money, right? And they jump around, or even professionals jump around very often. And they jump around, and then when they got to 30-something, they cannot jump around anymore because it hurts their credibility, right? And you probably see that as well. Many of the people that jump around a lot, and they're like, I'm not going to hire this person because he's going to obviously jump from here too, right?
Well, even in my times, we were living the short-term prices. Mm-hmm. That's I do something, I deserve a price. You say, no, you need to do a long career. It's like a marathon. And then in the marathon, you're going to get water. I don't know if someone ran a marathon here. I did. And when you're running the marathon, you receive water, refresh, some calories to keep that,
going. Yes.
that long distance career. That's what you have to do. Every step that you do in the business career, you have to learn something. It's true that you find people. I did myself in the beginnings. Mm-hmm. I jumped from one company to another, but I was just trying to find the best place because you need to feel comfortable. I've been working in Raminatrans for the last 14 years. In the other company, I was working for 10 years. Before that, I was trying to find the place to be. Mm-hmm. It's true that you don't have to jump from one to another job. But it's also true that if you don't feel comfortable,
oh yeah, absolutely,
go away. Then, if you don't belong there, try to find where you do belong.
Exactly. No, that's totally correct. I think that the company culture, the company business makes a big difference, right? So if you're too conservative, the company is too informal, or vice versa, or the business you don't like it, you're never going to be successful. So it's all the thing I tell people in terms of professional development. If you try to get to do something because it pays a lot of money, that's a recipe for disaster, because you're not going to like it. So then you may make some money, but it makes your life miserable, right? Because every day is a torture. So you need to also find something that you like, because you work 8, 10, 12 hours, 15 hours a day. Multiply this by 30, 40 years, right? That's a lot of time on your life, right?
That's true. I usually read a lot, and one of the things that I read that was in learning how to make negotiations, that you are in a point B and the other person is in point A, but you need to see it from point C. What he's demanding, what you're demanding, what he's offering you, what you're offering, and try to find the best way to close the deal, better for both sides. Always better for your side a little more, but then try to find the best way to close the deal, not letting everything go. In life is the same. When you work for a company, you need to be or to feel that they like you and they make you be part of the company, and that's important. In these times, that's not easy to find. It's really complicated to find. And I usually tell the people that I hired, and they say, no, I'm going to another company because they pay me just a little more than you, but I need to grow there. It's like, we make you feel part of the company. If you want to jump for just a little more money, take a look at it. I mean, and most of them, they came back. They try to come back. I don't hire them because once you get out, it's like, I don't know if you saw the movie El Padrino, The Godfather. And The Godfather, he says, no, I'm not going to do it again. You're not going to forgive yourself. Never. And you're going to have this always there. That's why you don't have to hire people again, they left. If they have a problem and they have to go for a while, the door is open always. Right. Like my office. My office is always with the door open. I don't close it. I close it when I have a private conversation, or I have to make some decisions or some strategies that I need to be concentrated on. But it's always open to let the people get in, and I'm always ready to receive people in my office or have a conversation. I try to chat with everyone, and once a month we do after work connections, and we try to invite it to dinner or supper, or we go for dinner with some dance. Try to keep them. We spend more at home, more at the office, and work at home.
Exactly. No, and I tell people, for those of you in the audience, people hire who they like. They promote who they hire. Supposing that two people are exactly the same capability, knowledge, experience, technical abilities, people will promote who they like.
Yes.
For sure. So sometimes a mistake that people make is just because you're the technically best qualified and you're the super duper in terms of knowledge, that will guarantee you a CEO position. That is not true. So there's a lot of emotional intelligence, relationships, connections, adaptation, emotional intelligence that plays the role, right? But I tell people, only the challenges and the difficulties make you grow. When things go very well, you got compliments, people like it, etc. And you learn things worked. But the bad experiences, the things that did not go well, oh my goodness, they leave you so much in terms of learning, right? So I tell people a little jokingly that the pain purifies, because it's true, right? We go through, once you live in the middle of something that is heated, I think you may be missing an opportunity to organize it, right? To structure it.
The fight is what makes you be better.
Exactly, absolutely.
When you are trying to improve your capacity to fight, you need to fight and fight, and stand up, keep fighting.
Exactly, resilient, right? You're persistent.
When you make a mistake, you learn. If you don't make that mistake again, that means that you're learning and you're teaching yourself.
Exactly.
And you believe in yourself. You have to be every day better than yourself than yesterday.
Exactly. So I want to shift gears a little bit, just for the sake of time, Ovidio, in terms of your business, right? Logistics. What's happening technologically? What's going on in terms of computers, GPS, connection, tracking where the ship is, what the load is, the cargo is? We have also a group of students from IT, right? Information technology. Tell us a little bit what you see happening, how you see the next couple of years, how logistics is going to evolve in terms of using technology, maybe engineering or information systems or computer hardware, all that kind of stuff. What do you see coming?
In the day-by-day basis, you need to be alert, always, and improving everything. If you see how the world was developing from the first 1,000 years, it's faster than before. Now we have better GPS and we have better technologies. So now, I remember that 20 years ago we were sending fax. We can scan the document with our phone. So you have to be always in shape to be ready and invest in technology. I+D is one of the most important things that we have in our company. We developed the tracking that our customer can access to the tracking website that we have. In a few months, we will have the application for the phones, and they can geolocalize the cargo immediately, knowing where the container is, or where the cargo is, where it's going, the time of arrival, the departure, knowing everything, and download documents. That opens the door for the dark side. There's always a shiny side, but there's always a dark side, the cyber attacks. So you have to be ready to stop that cyber attacks. And that's a little step back, because that dark side, it's slowing the systems, and you have to work slower because you need to verify with the antivirus everything or every step that you do. But at least we can do a lot of things, more things than we done 10 years ago.
Yeah, no, it is something that I have seen in a lot of the expansion of networking.
Yes.
You're connecting more devices, you're connecting more hardware. For example, the truck, the van, the ship, the airplane, the railroad, and all of the above, the transmodal, the modal of transportation. When you have like combinations, you come with a railroad and then goes to the ship and then goes to another country, etc. Where the cargo is, and individually the mixed loads, etc.
And customers want to know it like this.
Yeah,
that's why you have to use that tools that they are growing. We developed like 2 months ago. We had a connection with marine traffic. It's an app that it tells you where geologically it's everything, and they get the information also from the carriers, because the carriers control the ships,
right,
and terminals control the terminals. So everyone is putting the information in a cloud, and you have to be aware to keep that information, put it in the system, and you have all the information at the same time.
Yeah.
But always being careful with cyber attacks.
Exactly. No, the last supply chain logistics conference that I was, one of the biggest people got very interested is about supply chain disruptions, things that happen. For example, now we have the Ukrainian war, or we have like a big, the monsoon season in the Indian Ocean, or typhoons in Asia, as well as hurricanes in Florida, and all those things, right? That people, what is a plan B? Or a government has, for example, a lot of oil transport or those kind of products. Geopolitically, there's a change in governments and people block the borders. What do you do? How do you send it? Cross borders documentation. Well, when people have to move from Europe is one of the places you go, although you have European Union, but that's so much complication of documentation and controls, etc. That's a huge amount of data, right, that you need to collect on a daily basis, right?
Yeah, my son was 8 years old when the Green Ever happened, the vessel that got stuck in the Suez Canal. It was surprised how could happen, that big ship, and he was following the news every day, and he was showing me, and it was like, I knew it because I have to be aware of that, but I was like, oh, really, Lucas, wow, that's interesting. And he was teaching me, you see they're using the crane to open here, but there's a lot of vessels that they're going to the old road, the South Africa, and it creates some stocks on the west coast in the United States. And people was, how can they happen? Well, if it's like if you stop in a red light and the right light doesn't turn green, you're going to be stuck there until someone figured it out and just run the red light because it's not working. A few days ago, I was listening Arnold Schwarzenegger that he was saying, I don't like plan B. The plan A, it has the one that you have to go for it and take it, and sometimes plan A fails.
Exactly.
Because if it depends only on you, it can work. But
absolutely,
anything in this world depends only on you.
Particularly logistics. Logistics by design is you and somebody else, or you and a lot of people, right?
Yes.
There's no logistics, you.
We had that rain last week that closed
the
Fort
terminal,
Lauderdale Airport.
The gasoline, no gasoline, and you see how we are so susceptible to these disruptions in the supply chain.
That's why you always have to be ready with a plan B.
Exactly. So, and I think, and particularly there's a comment which is interesting in Miami. There is this sense of craziness that sometimes, because of the hurricanes, little things happen. People just put gas every day. They don't want to, there's sometimes unnecessary lines. When there is a hurricane miles away, people finish all the water in the supermarket, right? All these disruptions, people that deal with logistics, the supermarkets, fuel, they have to fix that. They have to work on that, right? In the COVID-19 with the masks and all these blockades, etc. So a lot of things.
We work a lot during the pandemic.
Exactly, because everything was online and you have to deliver. Nobody went to the store, so that was everything online, right? So, Ovidio, we're getting more or less close to our finish before we open to questions from the audience, from our students and professors. Final comments and from you or anything you find relevant, and some recommendations to our students from your experience, your vantage, your standpoint, how you see things. What do you would tell our students to think about or participate or discuss?
I'm going to tell them the same thing that I tell to my son and my daughter. Find your passion. Because then you will not work.
Yeah, that's true.
You will not feel like you have a 9-to-5 work and you're going to be there for stock. Or find what you really like to do. Find your passion and then you follow it. But you need to feel it. Even when people know you're not ready for that. I don't know, maybe I'm not ready today, but maybe tomorrow you will see me there. When someone told me that, listen, Ovidio, you're not going to do it. You always say, sit there and look at me how I do it. But always with passion. Passion moves everything. Passion of love, of course, but passion.
No, exactly. I think you're totally correct. And that's a very basic, right, but fundamental advice to any professional, right? Like you try to find, I tell people, many times in our lives, you have to get a job that to pay your bills, and that's life, right? But always do not leave out your ideals. Where do you want to go, right? Your purpose. Keep that in mind. Try as a little bit as you can. Sometimes it's hard. It is. Not everything is easy, right? So people say, oh, it's hard. Yes, it is hard.
We are married. We know it's hard. So we have to put all the love in our wives and follow it, right? And that's what you have to do in everything that you like. If you have passion to go to the gym, or you have passion to go to play tennis or basketball, the same passion that you have in that sport or what you read or the game you play, if you have that passion, you're gonna get everything in the line of work.
And I tell a lot of my students, they know me, I like lots of exercise, lots of homework, right? Because I say passion is something that is the driving force. But remember, you may be passionate, if you don't know how to do it, that doesn't work. You need to, learn. The famous painters, musicians, football players, basketball players, they practice a lot. Mathematicians practice a lot.
And so they learn every day.
Exactly. It's a mistake. They say, oh, this guy's a genius. And then he sits down and he gets his idea from somewhere and he develops that out of nothing. It takes a huge amount of work, right? I understand when he developed the theory of relativity, it took a long time, hours, endless hours of thinking. He was a genius. So I tell people, passion is the driving force, but the foundation is practice, is the skill that you develop by doing, right? You just do it, and you do it, and you improve it, and you do it with passion, and you do it, and you do it, and get things better. So let me open now, before we finish for the day, but to our audience, any questions from anybody? I want to open for the students and for the professors. Any questions that you want to ask to Ovidio, our guest of tonight?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I have a question. There's a lot of talk and a lot of papers being written now with regard to supply chain and logistics as it relates to blockchain, smart contracts, that type of thing. Is your company moving into using the blockchain technology in terms of smart contracts and following the transactions?
Sorry, I didn't hear you.
No, he was asking about if your company does a lot of discussion about using blockchains and smart contracts.
Yes.
If you have any development or any conversation about smart contracts or using blockchain and how you handle your contracts.
Of course, I mean, everything is improving. So we have the e-signed, and we have negotiations via video conference, and we are also using the new tools that they are using, the banks, for make payments and receive payments too. Mm-hmm. Right. I don't know if it was.
No, but in terms of blockchain, particularly, you're not involved in blockchain yet.
In blockchain, of course.
Blockchain. Oh, okay, all right.
No, we're growing in the B2B side, and we are developing the B2C here in the United States for a couple of customers.
Okay. Yeah, and other questions through a video from any of our audience. I can see here my distinguished students. Any questions?
Hey, how are you?
Yes,
Ovidio,
go ahead. Yes, sure.
This is Professor Acosta. We have one question. Sometimes people leave, obviously, because they want to have better opportunities. They want to provide better opportunities not only for themselves, but also for their families. Sometimes they want to grow. Why not consider rehiring them after they have left? Because you mentioned that. Maybe they're better employees at that time. They have they have made more networks or networking. Wouldn't they have or bring better opportunities for your company?
It's always depending how the people come back. It's like to be in a relationship. If someone of the workers because we love our workers, we put a lot of passion teaching them. We try to feel them like they are at home and feel comfortable. So if they go, it's like they didn't feel it. If you leave to another company, it's because you don't feel like comfortable or you don't have the opportunity to grow. They have the opportunity to grow up in our company. And of course, if someone comes back and, I try to another place, or they try to find another line of work and they feel like, no, logistics is my passion, of course we do. We hire them again. It's not like a line closed or something that you will not do anytime. But if people grow and you see them, they're like more professional, of course you hire them again. Always.
Thank you.
Sorry, I didn't explain myself correctly.
No, that's okay.
So let's add one more question before we finish. Any other question from anybody? I'd like to have a question from any student. Any question from a student to Ovidio? Anything that we wanted to ask? One chance, second chance. So, all right, if you no questions, so Ovidio, again, thanks for your participation. I think it's always great to have people that are doing things and active in the market. I have passion for logistics because it's such a growing business. We depend on logistics every day. Every company has logistics. The university has logistics. Hospitals have logistics. Entertainment, stadiums have logistics. Everybody has logistics, right? Any business has logistics, non-profit, whatever, right? Clubs. And have the way Raminatrans, obviously I know a bit about Raminatrans, but how Raminatrans has grown throughout the years and how you and I have talked, etc. I think it's phenomenal. And also you came to our career fair, the last one. You're going to have one in July. So it's always good to have you around and engage with us. You have 3 students from Atlantis that went to Raminatrans, so it's great. So I wanted to continue our conversation, continue our engagement, but I want to fundamentally thank you for being here today. And in a sign of gratitude, I just want to present you, people won't see it, but perhaps with the certificate of your participation, like a little diploma.
Thank you so much.
So thanks for being here, for being a guest speaker for the Career Service Department, for Atlantis University, and speaking on the topic of the challenge of a growing and fast-paced organization. So, my friend, always an important, always a great time to have you coming. And it's a pleasure, it's an honor to have you with us. So again, I know you're busy, so thanks for taking the time to come in here. So we'd appreciate it.
Alex, the honor is mine always to have the opportunity to share my experience with someone and have a great conversation with someone like you, a person with a long career, and who knows everything about it. It's always a pleasure, and the pleasure is mine, and I really appreciate that you can invite.
Fantastic, my friend. So we'll continue. For our audience, our students, our professors, again, thanks for your participation. This session is fundamentally for you to build your understanding of your career perspectives, your career development, opportunities of work, find your passion, how technology works, how it is applied, how business works. So it's a little bit, every little bit counts. And as I said, we discussed before, a career development is a step-by-step process. So you build every day, you build every month, you build every year. But with the secret sauce is passion, and the foundation is practice. So you have passion, and you practice, and you do well what
Discipline.
you have passion. Discipline and practice.
Discipline gives you everything.
Exactly, fantastic. So, guys, thanks very much for the participation in the session. Have a great evening. For my class, I'll see you in a bit. And for everybody else, have a great night. Thanks, Ovidio, for the time. Thanks, Aníbal, for producing this fantastic session. To the next time. Thanks, everybody.